Here's Brody Brazil.
Do you think the Sharks need to make a trade to make a playoff run? You know, Luke, I think that's a fair question at about game 40. We're not even at game 20 yet. We had 16 Sharks games. And I do think, I mean, you know, the biggest challenge for them is going to be the lure of acquiring something because you've had indications, you've had signs that this group has made some strides, have made some progress. They're going to have more impressive and statement wins down the road. But what they need to do in between those big statement wins is put together a few more routine wins, if that makes sense. You know, I mean, they've exceeded expectations on several occasions already, which, yeah, it raises eyebrows. But if you're only going to have one of those games per week or every other week, you know, that's not going to get you at the end of the year to the point in the win total that you'll need. So I think if you look at right now versus a game 40, which I don't know, should put you probably in mid-January, like you know, early mid-January, that's the point where you're really trying to figure out who are we, what are we capable of. Obviously for San Jose too, there's also the question of Evander Kane, his presence or not, his salary cap hit or not. Clearly, if that is opened up for the team, if it's unlocked and he's not around, then that provides, to this point, that provides more options of a trade. And not only just a trade, a player that you can all of a sudden now afford. I mean, there are times in the past where, you know, it's what do you want to give up to get a player? But there are other times where, yeah, you'd love to take on this player, but your cap situation, it's a hard cap in the NHL. It just does not allow for it. That second half would not be part of it. And I have to say, I mean, if the Sharks really had to give up younger players to get something that they wanted for here and now, they have that available too. But since I mentioned that, let's kind of go back to square one of the Sharks. We're talking about making a push for the playoffs this year. In my belief, they're not looking for a rental. If they're going to make a trade, and you talk about it here, a trade to make a playoff run, that sounds to me like a rental. What I want to clarify is if the Sharks actually acquire somebody via trade down the stretch, and it's going to have to honestly be, you know, we're talking top-tier player, right? If you have the cap space and you really want to make an impact, you want an impact player, you want a higher echelon player, but I also think you want somebody who is under contract still for multiple seasons and a contract that's favorable. Again, at this point, you're still building the team. You're still working on retooling the franchise. Why buy the farm if you're still in the middle of another existing project? You know, think about remodeling a house, I guess. You know, why buy the flat screen and throw it in when you're not even like halfway through with the remodel? Makes no sense. Put that in at the end.